Hey, this is former WWE superstar and ECW original, The Blue Meanie. And you're watching the Tell Us About Yourself show on Foxworthy 257. Now, if you're looking to watch a show about people who play the Super Show wrestling card and dice game, I highly recommend it. The Blue Meanie told you! The Blue Meanie sent you to watch Foxworthy 257, or else I'll come get you.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself, only on Foxworthy 257 Twitch channel.
Hi guys, I'm Session Martina, and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself on Foxworthy 257 on Twitch. I'm going to get some cans. Are you going to get cans and watch with me?
Doing good.
Doing well. Doing very well.
Mm-hmm. Good oldie bled. Cheese.
Yay.
Not even a question. Box. Huskus the cow or what? I'll take the cow because that's the one I can actually remember.
No problem. All right. While Fox is working on his issues here, I've got a question for you. We'll go ahead and start with that since I started the Twitch late. People are starting to ramp up a lot of talk about the year-end awards and that sort of thing. As a regional GM, who do you think is doing a really good job as a GM this year?
Oh, of course, myself.
Well, I meant other than you. You have to have more than one contender.
There we go. Stupid.
Do I?
Stupid.
I mean,
OBS.
Okay. Let's look at the other contenders because there's now 7. There's 7 regional GMs. We have, I don't know Midwest.
Oh, Midwest is Dave
Marosek.
The big guy, or Gary Schneider, not the big guy, sorry, and Colin Simon, the zombie.
I mean, they're doing as good as they can, but they also have 3 heads. Deep South has 3 heads. We can get stuff done in a timely manner. It always feels like it's one of them picking something and then them doing that. Then the next one picks something and does that. And they're still waiting for permission between there. So it's a little difficult for that. Does Tri-State have a new GM yet?
Not yet, but the old GM was getting matches going all the time.
Yeah, I would think that wouldn't disqualify her.
Oh, of course not. She was doing a great job. She was doing it almost weekly to bi-weekly. Everyone was always on top of it for there. But they were quick little matches that were put up on her channel, which is fine. But we're putting on like weekend events. Like if this last Saturday, if they didn't have their big Highlander Games event going, we would have been the de facto show for the weekend.
Okay.
Granted, of course, since we're deep south, Tri-State kind of talks down to us the entire time, and
but we know better.
Yes.
All right. So, just to follow up on that question, sir, do you consider any of the like online GMs like CCW or even Anthony Medvez for Highlander Games, since he's putting on some big events? Do you consider them factored in there, or is that because it's not regional level not the same
Well,
deal.
As a note, I should point out that Anthony Medvez is not the GM of Highlander Games. That was Matt Perone until recently.
I thought he was
yes.
taking it over because Matt.
Yeah, but he hasn't really.
Oh,
Matt
okay.
Perone was the
Fair
one
enough.
doing all the
Mhm.
Highlander
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling stuff.
From
Well,
my
then Matt Barone.
perspective, yeah. From my mainly online perspective, because I have not been able to go to any of these physical events. Obviously, I'm a cartoon. But they're all up for consideration, but I don't hear about them as much on like Talk of the Universe or even popping up on the discussion group. That's the only way I'm going to hear about things. And if they make a presence on there, it makes sense. But a lot of them keep in their little hidey holes and they don't pop up online. They're tight knit communities that are just amongst themselves, which there's no issue with. But I mean, they can't be contenders if they're not out there.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Though, I mean, one would say that Dave Marichek being the GM of Rust Belt would be out there enough to be noticeable. But,
Yeah,
you know,
yes. When you're a GM of a section that can basically take care of itself, I mean, he has one of the easiest jobs there.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right, wow.
Shots fired. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So jumping back into the Twitch chat for a minute, Candyman has a trifecta of press. Well, actually four, but we'll do the first three. Candyman or Candyman Dan?
Candy Ma'am.
Good answer. Your favorite member of the Rack Pack?
Favorite member of the Rack Pack. The ones in my collection. So I got Yasmin and Candy Ma'am, and I do have Allie, but we haven't put her up there yet.
Oh, okay.
Should we be concerned that you're collecting members of the Rack Pack to put on a wall?
No. I don't know why you would even say that.
Okay, that just seems a little weird. All right, anyway, I guess from an outsider perspective, I guess she would like you to tell people who the leader of the line is. Not that you would know.
Why do I what like I have no clue about the line.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they have well I deal with Hold the Line Harry all the time, and he really doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. So I don't think he would be the leader.
He's not watching, so I'll agree with that.
Okay. I got two members of the line right here. Can we say five? Which of you is the leader?
Actually, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago who the leader was.
You did. There's a clip of it too, I believe.
Oh.
Yep, on your or it might be on your channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the guy above me.
Ah, okay. So there you go.
Yep.
Easy answer there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So we take the break from the Candyman questions to get one from the Buddy Building. Do you think Jorgito International Cool can be a contender for the Deep South title opportunity?
You have the literal one of the other two GMs of the Deep South, Chuckonomics, make your contention for the Deep South title to him, and we'll see.
And he'll probably ignore it.
Because I have no clue.
Yeah. All right. A man known as Young Allergy would like to know: do you immediately have a problem with any new King characters that are released, or have you satisfied your regicidal urges already?
I mean, I hate hearing people call themselves king. Like that. There's a little bit of a thing. Like, why are you taking this so seriously? Why are you calling yourself a king? Are you worthy of being a king? Have I already destroyed you in a match? If you're king in just name, sure, enjoy being a paper king. If you're worth spending time on to eventually regicide and all that other stuff I have to do, then yeah, no. Like, I have no problem with new people calling themselves kings. I need them to prove that they are worthy of being called kings.
All right. Before I get to the other one, let me get to this follow-up question from him. Is Poland's prince safe from your wrath? Because he's only a prince.
I have had conversations with the prince. I have no issues with him right now. Once he tries to go for, tries to assume his next title, we'll talk.
All right, and I hear there might be a sheep king coming into the CCC now.
Yeah, I was
so-
going to say I have a follow up question to all of these king questions. Which of
Okay.
the released king competitors do you feel is the most effective?
Which of the king competitors is most effective?
There's 5 of them that I can think of. Maybe there's more.
Well,
than
let's
that, but
see. So we got King Hyena. He's a wild animal. We got the 3 kings: King Cold, King Pink, and King Greatness. They are perfectly fine individuals. I have beaten them all online. The ones that will play me online. I have not had the opportunity to play one of them yet, but we will once I get that chance. Fingers crossed on that. King Carcosa, I will not mess with. The King in Yellow.
Yeah.
The
I get that.
entities above my level scare me, as they should scare everyone.
Okay, but what about
Fair.
the most dangerous? Well, I mean, you got the Hollow King, obviously.
Hollow King, I have already defeated. We have had many conversations about it. He is a very he is worthy of being called a king, but he knows where he stands with me.
Yep. And then there's King Grumpy Jr.
King Grumpy Jr. taking his title back. It's a newer version of him from his past. He dropped the king moniker in the present.
Okay. And
So,
we shouldn't and while it's not released, but we'd be remiss not to mention the most prolific poster of the kings, the Nightmare King.
Well, that's true.
Mikey Nichols already understands where he is on my totem pole. He is down there somewhere.
Oh, at the bottom. So he's the one that supports the rest of it.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So going back to the Twitch, the LFF World Champion would like to know sheep or pineapple.
Sheep.
All right. Some jobber wants to know, or sorry, the Italian Bombata wants to know, horse or shark.
Horse or shark? Well, I have to say shark. I'm putting him into the seat of power, and the horse I'm smashing his head in with my new move. So I guess I'll go shark.
Okay. And the world champion would like to know, best region of Super Show.
Deep South by a large margin.
Okay. And apparently we do have another king that I missed, the king of retirement, Jim Bias.
He's retired. I'm not gonna hurt Jim. Like,
Yeah, I mean that would be elder abuse.
yeah, no. I don't need to add that kind of shit to my stuff.
That's fair.
People already start looking at me weird because of my King Regicide stuff.
Makes sense. And the world champion would like to know your favorite current LFF world champion.
So is this just himself then? I guess.
I mean,
Like
he
There's a world trios champion and a world
okay.
tornado champion and the world tag champions. You've got 5 options.
I'm pretty sure he was trying to limit it to the one, but yeah.
I mean, I am perfectly fine with Kurt Polka, most decorated champion in the Deep South at the moment. So, of course, Kurt, we love you down here.
Yeah. And,
Speaking of sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna follow it up, and you got to say the 2 spots in the Cookies Fortune, that out of the 3 are, one is a former Deep South player in Yaz, and the other is a former Tri-State player who is in the Deep South, Jeremy Steigerwald. So Deep South having some representation there too.
Yeah, no, we can't lose on that. It's great.
Well, I mean, wait till to see the third person.
It's Booker or Andrew Trebbing.
Oh, the jogger.
So I'm assuming Booker, and I know that the two, Yasmin and Jeremy Steigerwald, are two smart players that will never, ever let Booker get his hands on something like that.
Never underestimate the jogger of the year.
That's true. I was about to say that very thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. Speaking of LFF Gold, I realize that you're currently part of the Crime Waves Faction Wars team.
Yes,
so
I am.
Looking into the future, should you all actually win Faction Wars, which title do you want to go after?
Well, obviously, I'm going to take the most important title shot out of all of them.
The Deep Six, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so it's a little difficult for me to play in person. Someone has to wheel out a TV, and then I have to get another camera to show my cards, and it's a little hard. Online's better.
Fair.
Okay, makes sense. So so we just saw the wonderful card put together for the Deep South by yourself, and I forgot to ask. Candy Ma'am wanted to know if, since you have some secret info, if Hold the Line Harry is a heel. I forgot, I missed that earlier, so I should bring it up. But you and the potential heel, Hold the Line Harry, did a wonderful show this weekend.
Oh,
So
sweet. Also,
any plans?
he's the biggest heel I know.
Oh no!
Wow, strong words from the Crime Wave.
Okay. So do you have plans for another super card in the future?
I mean, we try to have a card every month or so, maybe every 2 months. We'll see how things are going. If we can get our titles represented on official SRG pay-per-views, that is always preferred, because the main channel is definitely better than mine or Chuggy's channel. But if we can't get the Deep South on those, I am more than happy to host another super card, probably after Thanksgiving, if need be, probably like a week or two in that Christmas time. We're gonna get at least one more pay-per-view for Deep South this year.
All right. Nepsilon has a very biting question. Given the explosive growth of the tri-state area, do you think Texas will be competing for that belt come 2022?
I have no clue why anyone puts so much emphasis on the tri-state belt. I know that it's Steve Rest's baby and it's in their area, but it's ridiculous.
And the best players in the world are in the tri-state.
I mean, the best players, the players that have been playing this game the longest, because that's where it started.
I mean, to be fair, if you look at New England, some of them are rookies that only started in 2020. Like some of them are impressive, and they weren't around for that many years.
We have Kurt Polka, the champion right now. He's Deep South. It shows that they're no longer the best in the world.
Do you have Kirk Polka, or is it really Candyman Dan that has done all those accomplishments?
Got you there.
We don't know. No one knows for sure. No one knows for sure.
Maybe. Candyman, you should know. Was that your husband doing them, or is that actually Kirk Polka?
Oh, we'll wait on that. But that's one of those things.
They do that twin magic too much. But
I mean, Kirk Polka might count as a tri-state player because of that. I mean, if he shows an ID, sure, it'll say Candyman Dan on it, but it looks just like him. So, that's the only requirement. So he could, in theory, get a tri-state title match, I think, on that. I mean, if I were a tri-state GM, I would definitely book him for one.
Oh, of course. But depending on how big the tri-state gets, because what is it now? 13 states at this point?
I think it's the original colonies for the most part.
Hmm.
So,
Well, the
And-
original
so the
colonies.
Carolinas.
I should say the original colonies that didn't secede.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to get Grumpy annexed into the Deep South, but right now he's Midwest.
Yeah.
So we're all trying to make acquisitions of areas that are
Yeah, you would think
more
Arizona
suited.
would be regressive politically enough to be considered part of the Deep South, but apparently not.
exactly, but
All right. Oh, that was an uncalled for shot.
oh god.
Actually, it was kind of called for, but
Yeah.
Arizona. But yeah.
Mhm.
So Kirk Polka would like to know, what kind of crimes do you commit to be one of the premier Crime Wave members?
I steal wins.
Okay.
Oh,
That
good
would
answer.
make you the best one in the Crime Wave, because I don't think the rest of them know how to do that.
Mhm.
All right. So Young Algae would like to know, can anyone request Chibi art competitors from you, or were those a one-off sort of thing?
Anyone that would like Chibi art competitors, contact the boss and have him select Heather Beaupre as your artist. If you're doing it as an alt art, you get it even cheaper, so that's always sweet. But if you're wanting your first competitor to be a Chibi, let him know that, and she'll start working on art for it.
Okay. The next is Nightmare King of Heel.
Yes. Next question.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that would be that one. Chibi tri-state title is overrated, some people are saying. And
Of course it is.
Yep. So
As we've seen, the Deep South, when we went head to head with all the territories, when it was Hold the Line Harry's baby, he came out victorious in that matchup.
Sure, but then when Hold the Line Harry moved into the world title scene and had a free win against John Polverino, he still lost 2-1. But then you could say Polka with a
okay.
slightly unbalanced step ended up beating John P. So
Harry's a very good player, but he focuses too much on the trying to win with honor thing, or this image
Thought he was a
of
heel.
honor.
Yeah, I mean, if
Well, he tries to present himself in a positive light, but it's just like he puts it to where I want to win this fair and square. Oh, you put him in a 2 out of 3 match and he gets the first loss. Oh, so sad. Like, if I was Harry, I would have definitely just taken as much of a advantage as I could have.
He did take as much of an advantage as he could have, because he had no other option but to take that advantage. But
He could have asked for bigger advantages.
that's fair. All right. The Bully Bomb would like to know what your favorite theme song in the WWE is.
My favorite one from WWE back before they changed Corbin's character, End of Days, was definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Now that they changed them back, it's back to Voices by for Randy Orton.
All right. Interesting. All right. So we haven't asked. So how did Chibi get into the LFF?
How did I get into the LFF?
Yeah, how did an animated character become into the LFF and then eventually become the GM of one of the second top region in the LFF?
Okay, so it's quite simple. I took the creator Paul Trejo's spot.
Okay.
And I'm just better at playing the game than he is. So now I put myself in that spot. Easy enough.
Yeah. Italian Bombado would like to point out to everyone that the tri-state is only 10 and a half states. So, not definitely more than any other.
So they don't even know what the word try is then.
No,
okay.
See, try is not short for 3 in this usage. It's short for try hard. It's the
Gotcha.
Try Hard States title.
Gotcha.
I thought everyone knew that it was a Try Hard States title, and it's just.
Well, you learn something new every day. All right, Chibi, I've got a question for you.
What's up?
You mentioned a little earlier your Twitch channel, and that you were I know that you've been recently trying to build that up. Why don't you take a minute to plug it, since you've got a captive audience, and tell us what you do on it, and
yes, my
plans
Twitch
are.
channel, twitch.tv/chibibt. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I saw, yes, 1 second. I stream video games on Tuesdays and Saturdays and Fridays. Thursday is strictly for my Thursday night fights, and when I eventually bring him back, Chibi Seat of Power tournaments. I stream for usually 1 to 2 hours at a time. It's just fun, relaxed, and in the case of the Thursday night fights, you get to see the entire event. That way people get a better idea of just what goes into a tournament.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. I'd like to ask you a personal question at this point.
Oh, of course.
Why do you keep featuring me? Because I always do really well in your tournaments right up until you put me on camera, and then I stink up the joint.
Well,
so
it's obvious. I want to put people that are not cussing every single second they're on screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
I put a couple of people on, and it never fails that I come in right at the worst point, and it's just, oh, bleep, 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 bleep.
Fair. That's fair.
All right. So Kirk Polka would like to know why you are a Black Templar. Is it your favorite color, your rank, what they had on the rack? Like,
so I have the extra name Black Templar going back from like 10, 15 years now. Of when I was started playing 40K, I started playing as Black Templars. I had a lot of fun with that. My wife, Heather Beaupre, she painted the army very prudently, and then she goes, oh, you know what? We can do I can make you a chibi model. So she made a green stuff little chibi model that I used as a captain, and I just literally called them Chibi Black Templar. And that was such an iconic character in our area that I just started using it as a moniker for Steam and all the other stuff that I do. And when coming into the LFF, if we had the opportunity, I just shortened it to Chibi because adding the Black Templar just felt like a little extra kill or overkill on the name. But using it for Twitch, it made a little more sense to just add the BT to separate what is, because I don't know if it would be two separate characters, but it's just to give some, because I'm not just doing SRG content, so that's why I add the BT there, so no one gets, but it's for everything. Sure. It's a catch-all for that.
So was that chibi that she created for you tournament legal?
Surprisingly, captain? Yes.
Oh,
as long as it wasn't what do you call it? Not Citadel. As long as it wasn't for at their official store, it was perfectly fine. Because technically, it was made out of green stuff, not having any of their GW resin. So, but he did win a tournament.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned other games that you're into, so that you could put them all under your Black Templar moniker. What other games do you currently play?
I mean, so card game wise, if you can mention it, I've probably played it or I'm still playing it. Video game wise, pretty much anything that isn't an FPS shooter. I just can't stand those. I'm too old at this point to be good at those, and I was never good at them to begin with. Gotcha. So on my stream, I do a lot of a game called Dead by Daylight. It's 1 killer versus 4 survivors. And if you ask Jeremy Steigerwald, I am a horrible, horrible, horrible human being for trying to kill those sweet, innocent survivors. But those survivors make my life a living hell. I played League of Legends, StarCraft 2. If you can think of a game, I've probably played it or am still playing it. I've been a gamer for my entire life.
All right. So we have a question. What's harder to judge? Magic the Gathering stacks or SRG Super Show spectacle interferences?
Literally, neither of those is hard to do anymore.
All right.
SRG is probably harder just because Steve changes his mind on things all the time. But like spectacle interferences, like we've gotten that down to pretty much a science, unless it's one of the new spectacles where we're trying to get Steve to give us an answer and he still won't answer us on them, and he just keeps on changing his mind on how things work. But otherwise, they're both equally simple at this point.
All right. So I actually have a really important question. So when one is to have a proper patty melt sandwich, what type? And you have a choice of 3 breads: rye, sourdough,
And we
or-
lost it.
or white
Sorry
bread.
about that.
Or white bread. Which one is the proper bread choice?
Sourdough.
Wrong. I only heard the second half of that question, but you're wrong.
Yeah, definitely wrong.
'Cause I know what the first half was.
Yeah, sourdough is definitely the wrong answer there. But you know, you're our heel.
Yep.
So, Kirk Polka would like to know, what game is better, My Horse and Me or Barbie Adventures? Mila wants to know for Christmas.
Oh. I plead the fifth.
Okay. Okay, we have a lot of wrong opinions about sourdough and patty melts in the chat. And I don't know if people like what your opinion on sourdough is irrelevant to this question. It's about which is the proper breading for a patty melt. Which,
Indeed.
Yeah, which is not sourdough. Preference means nothing. It's like going to Olive Garden and thinking you're getting fine Italian wrestling.
Wrestling?
Cooking.
Way to bring it back around to the point here.
Well, okay.
Cooking. Yeah, you know. It's just not right. Yeah, wrestling.
Mhm.
Oh man, sometimes my brain not work.
Words hard, dude. Words hard.
Yeah, fine Italian wrestling. Yeah.
Fine
All right.
Italian wrestling.
All right, Chibi, he's not here to ask, and he's also wrong on this question, on the whole
What?
patty melt question. But I'm going to ask Cannoli's question that everyone asks, or everyone is asked. Your top 3 current or former, or future for that matter, male and female wrestlers, especially if they're Italian. Please, if they're Italian, for the Cannoli.
It's be Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Randy Orton, female wrestlers, Lita, Bailey, and third female has probably changed since, because I'm just like, I'm drawing a blank right now. Tessa Blanchard.
Good man.
Mhm.
Finish strong.
Top
And finish
3
with a heel,
Italian
too.
wrestlers. Mhm.
Dominic Danucci.
Oh yeah. We gotta talk about the Italian wrestling because that's what they do at Olive Garden. I hear
Exactly.
perfectly reasonable. especially in
You
the
want
Midwest.
you want breadsticks and a clothesline.
Yeah.
There you go.
'Cause let's be fair, they're probably the Italian wrestling you see there through the junk Midwesterners is probably better than their Italian food.
Gambata is now a fine Italian cardboard wrestler.
He is.
We still got he isn't even the best in the LFF now that we got little Guido
Yes, we do.
That's fair.
and
Little Guido
Maria
is-
Marinara and Lorenzo Manicotti
Well,
and
they're
Well,
both
Little
bad.
Guido is obviously better because he has the Crime Wave logo on him.
Oh,
I don't know if he knows
someone
that
else
he
that's
has the
going to
Crime Wave logo on him.
someone else that's going to quit in the next 6 months. Is that how that works?
I mean, just because we use the Crime Wave logo doesn't mean that we are a part of the faction.
Yeah,
As they have so multiple times said that they are closed to official people being added to the faction. I am just a what would it be called?
Worker.
An associate helping them since I didn't have a faction award team this year.
well, I'm sure we can get fact checkers to get on this, but I'm pretty sure there are more people who had Crime Wave logos on their competitor and had already left the Crime Wave by the time it was printed than they have active Crime Wave members.
That is probably true.
I think there's more people who have Crime Wave logos that were never in Crime Wave
Mhm.
than there are active Crime Wave
Fair.
members at the moment. Because I think right now the active members are 2.
Boss and Schmidt.
All right. So I missed Kirk Polka's question there for a second. Would you rather have a match at White Castle or Olive Garden?
Oh,
Yeah, it
golly.
seems like a simple answer to me.
Kurt Polka asking the tough questions.
Really.
Olive Garden, because then I don't lose my title.
Exactly.
go.
That seems like the only.
That
way
is the right answer.
Yeah.
And breadsticks.
Well, beating people over the breadsticks would probably be classified as a felony at that point.
Sure. So,
But
to be fair, the wrestling that happens at White Castle may be more expensive, but in some ways it could be a lot more fun.
And more illegal. So perfect. Right up the Crime Wave's alley.
no clue on that.
Sorry, people are pointing out that a wrench monkey is officially in the Crime Wave at the moment.
Ah,
Well, there went his career.
uh-huh.
Yeah, White Castle is basically prime ECW, Kirk Polka saying. Yep.
There you go.
Oh, man, it always comes back to White Castle for some reason. Well,
Mhm.
I guess it doesn't always come back to White Castle. Or
No.
Well, okay.
Things leave White Castle never to return. You're right.
The Grump has still yet to make an official appearance since.
He did that one promo where he blamed everything on a short blonde-haired woman that he was confusing with Eddie Fury. Because he was,
And nothing since.
yeah, because
Nada. Zilch.
he literally explained that the reason he lost the belt was because he was looking for a woman that looked like Eddie Fury, and she stole the belt off him.
Mm.
Which I believe Eddie Fury responded was kind of creepy, and I agreed with that. Seems. But hey,
Well,
you know,
most of
everyone has their own
Eddie Fury's responses are creepy.
No, I was. Thunder was creepy. Eddie Fury was actually pretty normal.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but you know, they are basically the same height. I never actually seen Grump in person, so I don't know how tall he is. I mean,
Tall.
oh, okay, then he's not the same height as Eddie Fury.
I mean,
Mhm.
but then everybody's tall relative to me. So
I mean, but still,
he's about your height.
Okay, Eddie Fury's
Mhm.
not tall to you, so.
No, you're right.
No, not Grump.
Oh, I don't know who she's talking about being the same height.
No clue at this point.
Yeah, Nico's in her own world sometimes. The girl who took the title. Oh.
Oh, there we go.
It's the same height as Eddie Fury. Okay, well, that's fair. Nico apparently knows this girl, so good for her. All right.
Maybe you should get the title back for us.
There we go.
It's a better story at this point.
All right, Chibi. So do you think you will ever try to manifest 3D and come to a live event at some point?
Oh,
a more than say a local.
I mean, I will try to be at some of the larger events that are south of the Mason-Dixon line, but let's face it, a lot of the events are up north that they go to. If they come to PAC South, I might make an appearance there, and if I somehow end up at one of the northern events, sure, but it's just one of those things that if it lines up, sure, otherwise probably not.
Okay, how about something like Huntsville? Because that's south, but maybe a little out of your stomping grounds. Is that too far?
I mean, nothing is too far as long as there's a reason for it. Like, if there's a reason for me to be in Huntsville, then I will make my best effort to be in Huntsville.
I mean, eventually, PAX South has to happen again.
Yep.
Eventually.
And if PAX Unplug happens, then there is probably a PAX South very shortly after.
Yeah, and PAX Unplug is happening. So,
Hmm.
All right. Kirk Polka would like to know Reese's or s'mores.
Reese's peanut butter cups. Yes, definitely.
Ah, I thought you meant pieces.
Oh no, Reese's Pieces. I don't understand how people can eat those.
I mean, they're like the best part of a Reese's cup in a small, hard shell.
And most of it doesn't stick to the wrapper.
Mm.
It's like an M&M, but like full of good taste.
Next question.
All right. Bombada is telling you to travel up north for PAX Unplugged.
I mean, maybe. What's that? The week before Christmas?
No, it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th of December.
Oh, okay.
So a couple weeks.
I will check. No promises.
All right. Young Allergy pointing out they had to sell Reese's Pieces with an alien because humans didn't enjoy them. I mean, they say that about alien interferences too, but you know, I know a lot of humans that like that good alien interference. They find
Screw
it
that.
shocking.
Travel up for Captain Con. Like all these conventions, it's just like I'm trying to find the best reason to show up to them. And yes, I want to meet all of you people in person, but it's very difficult from my point of view, because you look at from the deep south, it's just like, well, that's a $400 round trip.
Yeah.
On top of everything else.
That is fair.
You just don't want to see Harry win live and in person. That's what you're saying.
Oh, I'll kick Carrie's butt in person.
Oh, fucking Bombada. Is it? Is it? Oh, man. Yes, folks. Is it is the best joke in the LFF at the moment. If people don't know, go look at Moonsault Leg Drop. And tell me what happens on a 5 or a 6.
Nothing.
Is it? Yeah, so Nico, yeah, Captain Con is up in Warwick, Rhode Island, which is a state that I only know is big enough for a plane to land in.
It is literally one city large for Texas. Like, our cities are larger than it.
That's fair. I mean,
we probably have a few towns that are larger than it.
But if you're using below the Mason-Dixon line as a thing, like I'm pretty sure Ohio thinks it's below the Mason-Dixon line.
And Ohio is technically a cheaper flight, so I was trying to make it to some of those events, but they were just a little out of the price range at the moment.
Ooh, no one's bullying you, Nico. You're a full-grown adult. Oh, okay. Kirk Polka would like to ask you, who has a bigger tripod, horses or foxes?
Next question.
Okay.
I don't know. Horse has been put as legendary at this point. It's mythical. I don't want to know.
Neither do I.
All right. Well, this is tell us about yourself, not tell us
Exactly.
about tripods. So I've got a question for you then.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is for the Nightmare King, because he's not here today. But I'm sure he'll be listening in later and would like to know. You sure have been using that purple mask a lot.
It is one of my very favorite ones to use besides this one.
Okay. So if you could pick any tag partner and go for any tag title, what would it be? Did you see how I did that in one sentence, by the way?
Exactly. Instead of the 15 sentences it takes. I'd steal Randy Orton from RK Bro and beat up I completely lost my train of thought there.
Well, just what title do you want to own? Which is the prettiest belt?
Oh. The Raw titles are probably the nicest one.
Okay,
I don't know. I like the red.
fair enough.
All right.
Mhm.
Bada would like to know: is everything really bigger in Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Our cars, our food,
The dumb
and it's
steakhouse
cheaper
take.
too. Yep.
The amount of years you're in jail for certain things that shouldn't be crimes, definitely bigger.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely bigger.
Mhm.
All right. Sorry, I just saw something on Facebook that's happening in New Jersey that looks really stupid, and it distracted me because someone has a Confederate ghost on their lawn.
Dear God.
I mean, it basically looks just like they have a Confederate flag and a ghost that looks like it's in the KKK dressed up as their Halloween decorations. So and that's New Jersey. So apparently, New Jersey is now part of below the Mason-Dixon line too. So
Okay. That Mason Dixon line is going further south, further
Right.
north every single day.
Unfortunately,
Soon we'll be going into Canada.
I might be too. Uh, at this point, at the rate that's going, I might go there as well. Um, we talked about how you're doing, how you got into the game and everything like that. What a lot of newer players might not know. How did you end up as the GM of the state of Texas? I mean, it's a big state to take on.
Once upon a time, there was an ogre, and then there wasn't. And then I took over because there was a who wants to be GM of Texas? Okay, I'll take it. And then I was the GM of Texas. And then I put myself into higher and higher responsibilities and forced my way onto this three GM council. And currently try to continuously feed Chugonomics as much soda as I can to keep him under control. And it was a lot easier when Harry didn't have any say because he was the champion. Now things are a lot more difficult again because now I have to deal with people.
Well, it seems like the matches have slowed down a bit since he lost the title.
Yes. And now that we also have a secondary title, even though we are not the GMs of it, Bob the Brain making the Deep South tag titles, they will be usually defended on one of our shows, and probably more often than not because as Kurt Polka is a double champion, we'll see how often Bob makes him defend.
Fair. So, true or false to this question? You sent Yasmin to Midwest Coast so that they would just have one good player.
True.
So
No, sadly she moved. I had nothing to do with that. I wish they were still in town. It makes things so much easier when you have all the good players down here. You get better a lot quicker.
So, a question. So, what player in your Texas region is flying under the radar and then should be better well known in the national stage?
Say it again. Sorry, I was a little distracted for a
Yeah,
second.
what player in your Texas region do you think is flying under the radar and should be better known across the national stage?
Stephen Owens.
amen.
He is a gem of a player. No, understands the game. Has been working a lot more lately since he moved from San Antonio to Austin, or no, he's in Round Rock, I believe. Either way, it's like a 2-hour drive for him now to actually make it to local, so it's a little difficult but he is still one of the best players I know that is local in Texas, because Alex Flores is still flying around every part of the nation right now that the world is opening up again. J Train, J Train is a little more well known. His competitor is busted, and he had a world heavyweight title shot. So I
Perfectly
don't think
well
he need.
balanced competitor.
Yes. So yeah, Stephen Owens definitely needs more consideration for stuff.
I'll agree with that. So, on a whole, as a GM of the Deep South region, what player in the Deep South region is flying under the radar? Excluding the Texas players, since the answer would probably still be Stephen Owens.
Mhm. Well, in the Deep South, Stephen Owens actually has gotten multiple chances at getting the Deep South title shot. So, um, some of the players in Oklahoma definitely need to get their voices out more. None of them, I like. Tyru is definitely making more and more of a case as he gets more higher and higher profile matches with in other situations. But the fact that Oklahoma still doesn't have a true GM, it limits their ability to actually be heard. Uh, Otherwise, I think most of the players that are trying to be heard are being heard.
All right. So, with that, before we get into the like final question and things like that, you have the GM Clace has announced that at the end of the year or so, he is going to look at all the GMs of the regions and whatnot. So, if you were to speak to the LFF on a whole, why should you stay as the GM of the Deep South?
Why should I stay? Because who are you going to have replace me? Like at this point, I've made myself almost irreplaceable. Like who you got?
Do you think what would you feel if it became a one GM job rather than a three GM job?
I would gladly take over being a one GM, but I do enjoy the fact that we have three because then I can blame other people.
Okay. So what you're saying is all the failings with the Deep South region would be blamed on either Chugonomics or Hold the Line Harry at the moment?
I like to call them scapegoats.
Isn't it really
And
3.5 with Bob controlling the tag titles?
I mean, Bob controlling the tag titles, he paid for them. I am perfectly fine with him running them as he sees fit as long as they get put onto our pay-per-views.
As a note, he also paid for the Deep South title.
Yes, he did. And we just stole that thing from him.
Which is why I think the new belts are also wrist sized, so that he can.
I think it looks better. They look like little pocket like watches. It's cute. You could wear them everywhere. Accessorize.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Kirk Polka wears that belt with his bigger belt.
He's gonna put that belt on his bigger belt.
Or is he going to put it on the lamb chop, black lamb chop?
Oh, there you go. There you go. That would be cool. Lamb chop now has a belt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they sell lamb chops. You just got to dye it black. Pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Of course, all the lamb chops I see are sold as dog toys, which seems kind of
poor lamb chop.
It seems really mean spirited as someone who remembers that show. That like they would feed lamb chop to dogs as a toy now.
But they have to kill her so many times now. It's so rude.
Yeah, it's mean.
Also, no one starts singing that song.
Which song?
Oh.
I don't know what song.
Don't worry.
Exactly.
What song?
Well, let's see. Any other questions? Tyru is contender for the LFF tag titles. Nope. Well, true, but like I said, he had to throw his voice around. And I know a lot of the Oklahoma players try not to stir the pot.
Okay, so near the end of the show, we always like to turn the tables a bit since Christy joined the show. And you get to ask the host a question of your choice, each of us. So what questions do you have for us?
Fox, what is the best way to get under Cannoli's skin?
Don't tell him that.
Oh God, there's so many. I mean, there was this one time when I convinced him a gimmick that was a joke gimmick was actually the real gimmick, and that like people were, and that the real joke was, and that really got under his skin for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny. In hindsight, it was funnier at the moment I did it, then less funny in the aftermath, and then hilarious now. Like, oh
And
man.
same question.
Okay.
He's your tag partner. You should know even better ways.
Actually, I have a way that got me briefly kicked out of the line. I came up with what I thought was a very legitimate alternate name for him, because having 3 names is not enough. I came up with a name that I thought was quite appropriate. Was trying to get him psyched up for a match using that name. I have been sworn to never say it again, so I will not. But as you can see from Fox, it was pretty good. The nice thing was it had a very unfortunate, initials. Its monogram was not great. And when I gave him the full name, his response was, "I do not like that at all." And then I said, "Well, I could call you for short," and that got me kicked out of the line for a little while. So, so I'd say that's probably the deepest I've gotten under his skin. But then I don't try. That was completely incidental, and somehow more hilarious for the effort.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the truest answer I can give you.
Yeah, about trying to figure it out, but
Of course.
it'd be hard. That's a hard one to squeeze out and figure out what it was a reference to, and you know.
And
Sometimes,
of course, phenomenal one, open Pandora's box.
oh, I'll have to go check that in a second. I have to scream up for it. I'll check that in a minute to see what is pointed out. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of good ways to get under Cannoli's skin in the hindsight. Sometimes, you know, there's a CBD. If you mention CBD, 10% off, or that. I mean, give the initials, Ken.
Rewatch.
No, I will not.
No,
but I will say this:
that'd be a shitty thing to do.
as his tag team partner, I must say to all of you, find a new target. The man takes far more than his fair share of crap from the community.
Yeah, definitely a lot of crap. Definitely a lot
that
of
was
crap.
wrong.
I mean, first
Someone else is getting kicked out of the line for a bit now.
First initial. Actually, ironically enough, I don't think I've ever officially been kicked out of the line for anything I've done.
Well, obviously, it's because you are the leader of the line. Makes sense.
Which is actually pretty hilarious. Because I don't really do anything that like I don't like push other members of the line in front of speeding cars.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I've never tried to kill a member of the line and then argue that like 2 minutes being out was way too long for attempted murder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never.
It was only attempted
in front of a bus to boot. That you need to remember that it wasn't just.
But he was just making
sure. In front of a bus.
He was making sure that if you were to actually get hit by it, it would be instantaneous.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he wanted to make sure you didn't miss your bus.
I mean, or that the bus missed me.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, definitely. Oh, okay. Let me.
Why am I defending this man?
Let me scroll up.
I have no clue.
What, yeah, because we got like a minute left. Oh, what was that? Is it the song that never ends? It will go on and on, my friends. People started singing. Oh, okay. I see what it is.
This is now going to go on through the entire dojo, and I love it.
Good. Time for us to sign off, though.
Yeah. All right, folks. Before this song ends, we're going to get out of here. It was a fun episode. Thank you for coming on. And apparently, Becky got kicked out for 5 minutes because of cannoli last night. Oh, it happens. I guess he murdered someone because 5 minutes is longer than what he got for trying to murder Ken.
That's true.
Yep.
It's actually not true because he tried to argue it down, but he was kicked out at that point, so he couldn't. He got like a solid 15 minutes for that. But all right, folks, we will catch you next time. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping me out. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.